All right, YouTube, this is Detroit's HPTV. Coming to you out of Detroit, back with another video. We got a topic today that we got to discuss. We got to discuss the division in the black community caused by the attempt cancellation of Stephen A. Smith. Now, I'm not a fan of Stephen A. Smith, but Stephen A. Smith has a right to criticize a politician, whether it be a white politician or black politician, whether it be male or female. Politicians work for the people of the country. The people don't work to serve politicians. So what the attack on Stephen A. Smith proves is that liberals think that they have more power than they really have. Liberals think they have the power to cancel a black man if the black man is not towing the company line for the Democratic Party. So in the attempt cancellation of Stephen A. Smith, a lot of black men around the country who don't even like Stephen A. Smith are bagging him because they see that you want to silence the black man's voice and still say that you're the party of inclusion. You know, the left is not the party of inclusion. They're the party of slavery. They're the party of manipulation, control, and immorality. And to think that because Stephen A. Smith said that Jasmine Crockett's constant back and forth arguing with the president wasn't going to be beneficial for her constituents was a fact. And they came for him. And they came out with their misandry. They came out criticizing black men. They came out quoting Malcolm X again. The black woman is the least respected and the least protected. But then, soon as they made that statement, everything that came after that out of their mouth was disrespectful toward black men. So if you are not respected and you want respect, you should offer respect. And if you want protection, you should be able to accept criticism. You should be able to be held accountable. Because what fool will put his life on the line for a loudmouth that don't even respect him? You think that some man is going to put his life on the line in defense of your rhetoric when you say we're low IQ? You say we misogynist? But when the stuff hits the fan, you expect us to go on the front line? When in a lot of instances, you divided the family based on benefits of Section 8 and welfare that incentivized the destruction of the nuclear family, and you still will get out and criticize and tell black men they have no voice and they have no power. But you want their support. Black men that fought in the War of 1776. Black men that fought and died in every war this country has ever fought. And ironically, they fought on both sides. You had black men that fought with the colonialists and some that fought with the British. You had some that fought with the North and you had some that fought with the South in the Civil War. When we get to talking about World War I and World War II in Korea, we get to talking about Mayor Coleman Young and Tuskegee Airmen. Black men have been holding it down. And you criticize black men. And then you talk about Harriet Tubman, who is respectable in our community as a black woman, because the liberals allow you to talk about Harriet Tubman because they will never let you get out there and champion Nat Turner. Harriet Tubman taught y'all how to run and escape slavery. Nat Turner taught you how to straight rebel and take the war to the enemy. So he will never be uplifted to the level of how you talk about Harriet Tubman. So we're at a crossroads in our community because the liberal beta males are out in full force defending Jasmine Crockett's antics. They act as if Stephen A. Smith called her the B word or the H word. But the only politician in person who had directly got on media and called somebody a B is Jasmine Crockett. She's the only one who got on here and called somebody a 304 was her. So she's being disrespectful. We know it. We know it. Let's be honest. We know that she gets in front of that camera and she is disrespectful. So we should rally behind her disrespectfulness, even though it doesn't get any policies or benefits to our community. We just gonna do it on the sake of she's a black woman who ironically doesn't respect black men. And if the liberals over there think that they could fight anybody without the help of the black conservative man, they are sadly mistaken. The loudmouth women over there and the LGBT community over there they have with them, and those simps that they have with them, are not fit to stand up to any real men in an army or in a military fashion. They can't even control their kids. You think they're going to get out there and stand up and fight? No, they're going to keep with the rhetoric and the propaganda, stirring up your emotions, making you scream racism and misogyny while capitalism, socialism, and communism is taking over this country. But the problem is, you keep poking the man, trying to shame and guilt trip black men into accepting these shenanigans coming from the left. And your words and ad hominem attacks that you throw at the black conservative man is a backfire. Because if the black conservative man doesn't stand with them liberal women and liberal black men, they fool for the fodder. You could tell in their personalities that they not gonna really do nothing but incite, manipulate, anger, and play with your emotions. But they're not gonna get anything done. So I want you to show you how the divide is happening. I want to show you black men coming out in defense of what Stephen A. Smith said and his right to say it. Not that everyone agrees and likes Stephen A. Smith, but he's a black man. And just like y'all on the left are defending Jasmine Crockett, you will see that black men will defend Stephen A. Smith and other black men. And if you want to be respected and protected, give respect. And if you want protection, listen. Be able to be held accountable. Because if you can't do that, nobody's going to sacrifice their life to protect you. That all that big bad talk you do, we'll sit back and we'll watch and see how that turns out for you. Because when they come for real, man, we ain't going to be talking about it. We know that when they come for us, we know what we got to do. We're not going to be screaming, oh, I was done wrong. See, this victim mentality and this misandry and this matriarchal society that they have created in our black community is at an end. And we see that they're going out kicking and fighting. We see that the matriarchy and the misandry is coming to an end. And we're seeing the throes of it. And those beta males, they just going along for the ride because it sounds good. But they don't understand the dynamics of real power. So without further ado, I want to get into a clip that I'm going to do a reaction to from my man Wise of A Righteous Perspective. Check out his channel. And I want you to see this discussion. It's for fair use of the 1976 Copyright Act for education and commentary. Let's check out my man Wise over here.
Everyone has an opinion, so here's mine. Stephen A. Smith has gone viral yet again, this time for telling the truth about Jasmine Crockett. And you already know, in the black community, he's officially canceled now. Not exactly sure why. I guess because there's that whole stay on code thing. Black people are under this myth that you have to stay on code and go along with nonsense. Even if 2 + 2 is 4, in the black community, it's 5. And if you say that it's 4, then you're canceled. Like, there's a lie that we try to perpetuate, this victimhood narrative that we try to perpetuate, and anybody who goes against it is automatically an enemy. You're automatically canceled. You're not allowed to have your own opinions in the black community. Because if you go back and actually look at what Stephen A. Smith said, he wasn't being mean, rude, or disrespectful to her, but just asking simple questions. Like, if you're a rep in Texas, why are you never in Texas? Why haven't you done anything for the state of Texas? And I think these are fair questions. Name one piece of legislation that she has drafted, that she's been involved with, that she has gotten passed. Name one thing that she has done to benefit the lives of the people in the district that she represents. Name just one. Y'all want to hate on Stephen A. Smith so bad. Nigga seemed like he said something that was out of the way. And you talking about, y'all not holding the black women to the same standards that you hold the white people to. And it's like, well, the white people aren't on every single podcast, on every single TV show, running their mouths every single day, talking shit, being disrespectful to the president of the United States of America. It's you, Jasmine Crockett. And it's like, now we have to be canceled when we call this out. We voted you in to do a job. You're not doing the job that you were elected to do. We didn't vote you in so you can go on podcasts. We voted you in so you can draft legislation that would impact the people who live in the district that you represent. And you haven't done that. And I also think this speaks to a bigger problem in the black community. Not only are we not allowed to be free thinkers in the black community, we don't talk about the influence and the power of the black woman. I think that the black woman may be one of the biggest problems in the United States of America. When you look at her influence, when you look at the fact that we live in the baby mama era, when you look at the fact that she sold her man out of the house, she pushed him out of the house for meager benefits. Like, when you start...
Now, right there, I know he ruffled some feathers. But that's how a large percent of black men feel when they look at media. And you can come back at black men with your insults. You can. But then see how protected you will be. See how respected you will be if you continue to disrespect the black man. You will be on your own to defend yourself against these so-called enemies and racists and all these other people that are after you. Because you think somebody is going to, like I said, give their life just because some myth of unity that you're not even promoting on that whole leftist side. You want unity with the LGBTQ community. You want unity with all the other nationalities and races. You're not trying to unify with the black man. If you were, you wouldn't talk so reckless to him.
Adding all of this stuff into it, and when you see on TV who was constantly the ones who was acting out of control, out of pocket, who was the loudest, who was the most rude, who refused to be criticized on any level. You can't even offer criticism to a black woman. You can't even correct her when she's wrong. And then you think about how all of these children are running around here violent. Who raised them? We're talking about all of these men ain't being leaders. Who raised them? What was their mamas doing? What were their mothers doing? See, when you point one finger, it's three of them bad boys point right back at you. Again, I ain't trying to hate on nobody. My mama black, but we got to be real and we got to keep it honest. Why can't we call out black women when they're not handling their business? We call out black men every single day. Y'all ready to call out Stephen A. Smith right now? A man who is a good father, who has a great job, a large sphere of influence, and he's using it the right way to tell the truth and be honest and give people information that they can actually use that'll be helpful. Jasmine Crockett, what are you doing? But Trump, I hate Trump. Seems like a lot of rhetoric that's being pushed around black communities. You ever been to a HBCU lately? Look what happened in Tennessee State when two white kids just wanted to have a debate. They were attacked. Again, who is raising these children? You're talking about a nation full of fatherless kids. And you say, well, where are their fathers? No, the father didn't leave. Don't do that. Don't do that at all. Are there some instances where the father just up and up left? Yes. But more often than not, it was you, black woman, who made it absolutely impossible for this man to be a father to his child. You didn't think about that, though. You was thinking about your own selfishness and how you felt right here in the moment, as opposed to thinking about the big picture. If you take this child's father out of their lives, how will that impact not only them, but the next generation to come? Just something to think about. But that's just my opinion. Love to know yours. Drop a like in the comment.
Appreciate you guys pulling up today, man. This brother said a mouthful, and I am in agreement with him, to be honest with you.
2 ways to trade with Kraken. Whether you're buying crypto instantly on the go or executing precision strategy.
I am in agreement with him. Stephen A. Smith, he is the, epitome of a fence rider, right? He rides the fence. But here of late, I got to give it to him. And I'm one of those kind of people, I like to give credit where credit is due. He's been willing to call out both sides. When he, thinks that the right, and the Trump and the Republican, running awry, he's been willing to call it out. And here he is speaking on Jasmine Crockett, and he's been calling it out. And the thing that bothers me is that the people that have come to Jasmine Crockett's defense, they didn't go at what Stephen A. had to say. They didn't speak to his talking points. They were just upset that he chose to speak on a black woman in America in a position of leadership. That's it. And hey, they're basically like, hey, you not on code. How dare you speak on a black woman? And these people seem to think that they have the ability to touch this brother's pockets. Now, again, I'm not one of those kind of people that agree with Stephen A. all the time, but I don't think we should live in a society where we just agree with people for the sake of agreeing with them, right? But in this particular case, in this particular situation, this talking point, this politician, he's absolutely spot on. He's absolutely spot on. And we've been talking about her on this channel for quite some time, right? We know that persona, that she putting out there, it's a facade. It's not real. That's not who she is. That's not where she comes from. Now, your job as a representative, as Stephen A. so eloquently put, is to represent the district that puts you in that position. Your job is to serve those people. That's your job. And I understand you're a Democrat and the president is a Republican. And the Republican has, control of the House and they have a majority in the Senate, so forth and so on. But your job is to go and work with individuals, even if that means crossing the aisle, to get deals done that will benefit your constituents. And unfortunately, a lot of people have forgot that that's what their job is when they get elected into these offices. They completely disregard the people and they focus on themselves and their billionaire donors. I want to showcase a video because there's a lot of soy boys, out here that would call themselves alphas, but they show themselves as betas. I want you guys to see this video here from Willie D. And he thought he cooked. He thought he said something. And these are those people that are trying to be on the quote unquote good side of black women. Like that means anything. And like that's going to help you. Well, I guess it may, financially, maybe. But what are we doing?
I see a lot of great commentary from many of you on Stephen A. Smith's ignorant statements time and time again. This time, he disrespected a powerful black woman who's putting her life in danger fighting for us.
A powerful black woman who hasn't implemented one piece of legislation. Her own party has denied her for any position of leadership that she went up for. And she has done absolutely nothing for her district. And in Texas, they actually basically drew lines to basically get her up out of here. How is she powerful? How?
At what point will you all lead the charge to turn him off? And over here, I did respond to Tamika's post.
Now, this dude here is obviously Caping, playing Captain Save-'em.
Now, let me interject here. Willie D is so weak that he's accepting a pat on the head from Tamika Mallory for his emotional, disrespectful rant against Stephen A. Smith. Here's a black man in his 50s being patted on the head for disrespecting another black man in his 50s over a politician who was critiqued. This tells you how weak these liberal men are. And like I told you in my video yesterday, the Republican Party doesn't own the word conservative. You become a conservative based on how you was raised, because conservatism is rooted in tradition. I'm a conservative because my grandfather went to church and worked every day and took care of my grandmother and took care of our family and had authority. Then my father did the same thing. That is traditional conservatives. It has nothing to do with the Republican Party. It has everything to do with morality, order, discipline, respect. And when you look at these beta males coming at Stephen A. Smith, you can tell they was raised by women because they have no discipline. That's why the first thing they did was try to disrespect them. But if you was raised by men, you would know that disrespect only breeds more disrespect. Let's watch some more of this.
And, Tamika Mallory, she's an activist out there. I believe she's a lawyer of some sort. And she's one of those civil rights activists. And she's basically, part of the boule. Let's just call it what it is. She's one of those gatekeepers out there. And you heard what she said. Let's figure a way to turn him off. Black women don't watch ESPN like that. They don't watch First Take like that. They don't listen to sports like that. And they're not the people that actually support Stephen A. historically. So they really don't have the kind of power that they think they have. But let's listen to Captain Saban.
I don't rock with him at all. However, for many sports fans, it's hard to turn off someone like Stephen A. Smith because he's not just a commentator, he's a caricature. Networks know that polarizing personalities drive engagement. Whether you agree with him or not, he's giving people something to react to, and reaction equals ratings. The business model of modern sports media isn't built on accuracy. It's built on emotion. Who can make you yell at the TV or post a clip online? It's easy to avoid his podcast, but being on a huge platform like ESPN's First Take makes it harder to escape him. The show mixes him in with guests and co-hosts people do like, such as Shannon Sharp, professional athletes, and celebrities, or whoever's across the table that day, so he stays in the mix by association. Even if you tune in for someone else, you're still getting Stephen A. front and center, weaving his coconut ass into every debate and every highlight. Tamika replied with this actionary statement. Willie D. Live, I appreciate everything you wrote. You have been consistent in calling out his BS. I would only offer this. The way to deal with him is to be disciplined and hit the people who employ him. They are responsible. We always talk about building our own. Perhaps there needs to be more sports commentary on some of your pages so people have some way of...
Look at Willie D. Taking instructions from a woman young enough to be his daughter. Getting his pat on the head for attacking a black man and disrespecting a black man who had a different opinion than him. And he think he on the right side of history. Really? He over there with the LGBT community and all the other leftist weirdos attacking conservative black men and conservative talking points. And he thinks that he's on the right side. Listen to some more.
To turn. ESPN needs to know he does not represent us, and his attacks on black women are punishable by financial loss.
I hope you guys heard that, right? Because he has critiques, not of a black woman, but critiques of a politician who is fair game. You tossed your name in the ring, or you tossed that hat in the ring. And when you become a politician, the people have the ability to criticize you. Black, white, Asian, Hispanic, it doesn't matter. If you're an American, and honestly, if you're not an American, you have the ability to critique and to criticize. He's not wishing harm on the lady. He's just telling her, you need to do a better job. What you're doing is not helping your constituents. I don't see the problem with that. But unfortunately, you have the people that are the true sellouts in the black community, the true sellouts, the true gatekeepers, and they just showed themselves. They showed themselves. I want you to check out this brother here. This is Bishop Larry Gator. Just going to share just a brief clip because he knows exactly what time it is with people like a Willie D, Tamika Mallory, Bakari Sellers, and so many other these, quote unquote, civil rights activists and people that are, pumping the fist of pro-blackity blacks out there. They don't care about black people like that. They don't. They really don't.
Your listeners, the Boule Secret Society, capital BOUL', it is a Black Skulls and Bones. They are worse than any skinhead. They are worse than any Klansman.
Yeah, worse than any skinhead, worse than any Klansman. Because the reality of it is their job is to get everything that they can get while keeping black folks on that Democrat plantation. They'll knock your head off for a bucket of chicken and 2 butter biscuits. That's why they come at people so hard who actually are out there trying to tell the truth, trying to shake and wake people up. That's why. I want you to listen to this clown, though. I'm going to bleep out a lot of language, but this is another emotional, effeminate dude.
And give them house. Stop getting everybody else, because everybody else don't want to be a house nigga like you. Nigga, be happy you a house nigga. Be glad it worked out for you and your family. But everybody don't want to be a house nigga. Oh, you ought to be nice to master. You ought to get along with master to get. Nigga, everybody don't want to get along with master, nigga.
Now think about this. This is a dude worth about $6 million. Sitting in what looks like a brand new car, or at least a newer whip. And he's out here calling folks house ninjas and field ninjas. Again, boule. Worse than any skinhead, worse than any Klansman. These are the people that are paid to keep black folks on the plantation. You are not allowed to think freely. You are not allowed to operate in the same way that any other American can operate. These are the gatekeepers. And these are the people that have been told, you got to go get Stephen A. in line. It's people like him. These are the real Stevens from Django. It's not someone like myself. It's not someone like a Tatum. It's not someone like a Greg. It's these folks. It's these people. The people that will smile in your face and tell you they're here for you, pump the fist to say, oh, power to the people, ain't doing nothing but trying to keep people bogged down and in bondage. How dare you hold a person that sits in a public office accountable for their actions and their behavior? How dare you? We got to check this clip out from The Breakfast Club. And you're going to hear this young lady say that Stephen A. is in hot water. I beg to differ. He's not in hot water. I mean, he's trending right now. He's going viral. Y'all think y'all have more pull than what you actually have. Last I checked, this dude just signed a contract that is guaranteed. Most women don't even watch ESPN like that. And let's just keep it a buck. Black women definitely don't watch ESPN like that. His channel on YouTube is popping. I would assume that prior to all of this, black women wasn't really watching his channel like that. So they can't affect it in that way. Or the radio show that he has, on Sirius XM, I would assume that most women aren't watching that. And black women aren't watching that. Y'all don't have the power that you think you have.
Stephen A. Smith is in some hot water. He made some comments about Jasmine Crockett and the way she expresses herself.
You Jasmine Crockett or somebody like that. Ladies, I respect intelligent women, no doubt. But how a Jasmine Crockett chooses to express herself, I'm like, is that going to help your district text? Aren't you there to find a way to get stuff done as opposed to just being an impediment to what Trump wants? I'm just going to go off about Trump, cuss him out every chance I get, say the most derogatory, incendiary things imaginable, and that's my day's work. That ain't work. Work is saying that's the man in power. I know what his agenda is. I'm not exactly in a position to stop him since the Republicans have the Senate and the House. But maybe if I'm willing to work with this man, I might get something out of it for my constituents. She's supposed to be there to represent the people of Texas.
Those were his original comments, right?
I want to hear from you guys in the comment section. What in that statement did he say was wrong? What did he say in that particular statement there that was wrong?
So since those comments, a ton of people have spoken out against what he's saying and defending Jasmine Crockett. Now, he also says that his issue with Jasmine Crockett is that she speaks she's too street.
This educated, brilliant black woman representing over 750,000 people is engaging in verbiage and rhetoric for the streets. And that's fine when you're in the streets. How many of y'all bring the streets to the table when you at the negotiating table trying to get a deal done? How many of you are able to think that for a second that you're able to bring street verbiage to Capitol Hill and that's going to work for you? You literally have senators and congressional figures on Capitol Hill on the side of the Republicans telling the networks, whether it's Fox News, News Nation, or anybody else, please, please, please please put her front and center on camera. Why would they do that? Because they know it wins for them.
I would say you said Stephen A. is in hot water. Stephen A. is not in hot water because this is exactly what he does. He says things and people respond to it. He is provocative. He gets the people going, right? It's all content. Everybody just making content. So it's...
I'm going to stop right there because you get the picture. But you see, they had to correct this young black woman. She said this man is in hot water. He in trouble because he criticized Jasmine Crockett. Then you looked over there at Lisa Rice. She came out, like I said, with that saying, black women are not respected. They're not protected. And they won't be if they keep disrespecting black men. Facts. If you think y'all got enough LGBTQ liberals and beta males and people like Plies with them screeching voices to actually ever stand up, go ahead with that. Go ahead with that. It'd be better for the black community's future if all of them unite over there under that democratic plantation immoral mindset and just separate themselves. Because you can't even criticize and critique their performance in a job that you voted them in to do if you're a black man. And then the insults, they're not working. They're not working. They're having an opposite effect. Because you keep saying that you're not protected. That is a self-fulfilling prophecy. You won't be. You won't be. You keep talking to men and tell them you can cancel them. They need to shut up and they got low IQ because they disagree with you. You won't be. You will only be in more danger. And that's some of my thoughts on that. So y'all enjoy. This is Friday. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Think about what I said because you seeing the talking points from both sides. You know, but be reasonable. Don't be emotional. And this is Detroit's HPTV, signing to you out of Detroit. As always, salute to all patriots. Like, share, and subscribe. Support the channel. Keep your head on swivel. Peace.